If I've ever witnessed with my own two eyes the physical wealth, depth and creativity that this continent possesses, it has to be through this exhibition. It's titled Tutankhamun, His Tomb and His Treasure. Welcome to this edition of the Art Bulletin, and thank you for choosing to stay with Morning Live. Lessons in acting, directing, writing and editing are just some of the newest additions to the KwaZulu-Natal African Film Festival. The film gathering, which kicked off yesterday at the Ekhaya Multi-Art Center in KwaMashu, is on until the 14th of this month.
We'll be showcasing a number of films, interesting films. A film festival focuses more on South African films. They must be Africans, Africa-based films. They can be from South Africa, Africa KZN, or Africa diaspora, as long as they've got that theme or are made by Africans in an inclusive way. The films that we are showcasing this year we're opening the film festival with Number, which is a SA-made film. We also have a very interesting film called Hard to Get, and then we also have got Hard to Get actually is a film that is made and produced in KZN and by producers from KZN. And then we also have got a film called City of Violence, which is a controversial film but a very interesting one. And then quite a number of other films made by filmmakers from KZN, some aspirants, some intermediate, some advanced filmmakers. It shows that the film festival itself is growing and the film industry is growing in KZN.
Still in KZN, entries to the 5th edition of the province's creative writing competition titled Interpret Durban are currently open. And under the theme Durban DNA, they'll focus on the building blocks of a city and beg the question, what makes a city? The competition covers photography, video and illustrations and will culminate in a night of exhibitions and live music.
Requirements for entry are pretty simple. We've tried to make this as open as possible. If you do go to the website, which is interpretdurban.com, you will see a full breakdown there of all the briefs, but there isn't any specific requirement in terms of academic level or artistic ability. If you want to give it a bash, we encourage people to do that. This is something that's supposed to be open. There are categories such as the illustration and design category and professional photography that are obviously aimed at a higher level of participants, but even those, if you want to take a swing, why not? Each year has an overall theme, and this year's theme is Durban DNA. So we ask the question, what is it that makes a city? What are its building blocks? And I think that's something that the judges are going to look for is how you interpret the specific brief of your category that you're entering, and how you've made that encompass really the overall theme of the event, this Durban DNA.
A book launch, a beauty pageant, and mingling with some of your favorite artists. That's just a fraction of what's been on offer at the Mzansi Pride Festival, which kicked off on Monday at the Constitution Hill in Braamfontein. The week-long gathering comes to an end tomorrow.
Mzansi Pride is a collaboration of all Pride in Southern Africa. So basically it's a matter of getting all other Pride, like your Soweto Pride, Joburg Pride, Durban Pride, Cape Town, to just get it together and have this huge festival by the end of the year. Of course we're gonna march for having solidarity, and also for our right to be taken seriously and also to be visible. But also it's not just that. We will also remember the people within the LGBTI people that is actually passed on, the people that were brutally murdered, and also then we'll have a festival then at the end of the day. We have two MCs. We've got Lerato Khanyago from SABC 1, and we've got Bougie. And then the performers, it's Amstel, it's Toya Delazy, it's DJ Olwe, we have got Jacob Jones, the Bluebells. Yeah, the lineup is heavy and hectic. Pride was actually, for one, so much confident within one as an LGBTI person. I always say I grew up without knowing what Pride is. I grew up in a rural area, and a trans woman, I did not even know what that person looks like. And today I'm I wish all those people that don't know about that but that's feel, because you know what, I think I'm different, should be there, and it's actually gonna change them. Also the visibility within the LGBTI community. As much as we would say yes, we have a right, we can marry and whatsoever, but I don't think it's really out there and people really take it serious, and we want to fight for all those issues.
Celebrating freedom through song, dance and drama. That's what the Ichapurile Teja Festival is all about. It's set to take over the Soweto Theatre in Jabulani tomorrow.
Ichapukhile, it's a name of their production that they've workshopped and developed. And the festival itself, it's a festival from a production that speaks about what freedom means to the newborns of this country. And it makes so much sense that we're celebrating 20 years of democracy, and they came up with this concept. And to them, when they were doing their research, they found out that our freedom has no meaning no more. Hence the name hence the production was called Ichapukhile. After their production, they decided that they want to do more research on with other young people, and so we went to 3 institutions, which was Fuba School of Dramatic Arts and Visual Arts, and we went to City Varsity doing our research and asking the question of what does freedom means to you guys, and we workshopped the production with them, and we came here to come and meet this production to put it under in the same chain. The date is on the 7th of December 2014, and the time is at 12. Ticket prices are 15 Rand.
It encourages the re-observation and defamiliarization of the ordinary. That's Molemo Muilwa and Nare Mokgoto's latest exhibition titled Made You Look. It's on at Gutha on Main in Maboneng Precinct until the 14th of December.
The collaboration mainly focuses on practices within the city, but not exclusively, that are very often overlooked or considered mundane, inconsequential. And so what Made You Look does is that we take those practices and sort of relook them and make people relook those experiences in a different light and try to tease out what the wider social implications are from those simple experiences. The project's developed over the past 4 years. So what you see here really is a combination of 4 years of work. When we first started thinking about corner loving, one of the things that we had to be very careful of was the language that we used. So I mean, some of the people that we've spoken to very often will ask, so why didn't you go with photography or film, for example? And I think those mediums for us kind of lose the intricacies of some of the things that we're trying to deal with. They become a way of just saying, this is what corner loving looks like, just documenting it, as opposed to speaking about the wider social implications that such an act has. I mean, part of the development has been trying to find a very simple language that communicate these ideas, but also, I don't know, simplicity just works so well, you know? Simple ideas just stick much better.
Stage director and costume designer Niels Hesling, who is responsible for, among other things, the Black Tie Ensemble, recently lost his life to a long illness. May his soul rest in peace. Now a group of colleagues, family members, friends and co-industry practitioners will gather at the Foxwood Theatre in Houghton Estate, Johannesburg today. The memorial service starts at 11 and ends at 12.
It is really, I think, for the artists who remember him, who knew him, to come and say goodbye, to find a way to make peace with the fact that Niels is not with us anymore. Niels was a vision for the future in opera. The operas, the productions he created was really futuristic, almost in sense of how he approached it. Of course, these productions were always very traditional, very true to the composer's work and what they wanted to say of the production. But the things that he brought to stage was always unbelievable, and everybody who's seen his productions always said, you know, they can see it's a Niels production. I remember people saying that every opening night when the curtain opens, there would be applause.
This exhibition, which showcases some of the most priceless relics and artifacts from Egypt, has been on the road for over 6 years and has been seen by over 5 million people across the world. It showcases a collection by one Tutankhamun. Now here's the interesting thing about Tutankhamun. He was king by the age of 9 and unfortunately died at the age of 19, one of the shortest reigns amongst his people.
Tutankhamun is the golden pharaoh of Egypt. Why we call him the golden pharaoh? Because he is the only king for whom we found his tomb completely intact, and we do have his all treasure found in his tomb. The most interesting thing about Tutankhamun and his treasure is first the story of the discovery. how this British excavator Howard Carter found the tomb, how he spent 5 years looking for the tomb, and finally he found it in November 4th, 1922. So this is the first part of the story which we wanted to tell through our exhibition. I always dreamed to see this exhibition in an African country, and I'm so happy that South Africa is hosting this exhibition. Actually, as an Egyptologist, we want to tell the story of this part of history. This is the history of Africa. It's not only the history of Egypt, you know. We wanted to narrow this gap between cultures. We want children to know that this is part of their history.
And that's how we come to the end of today's edition of the Art Bulletin, coming to you from Tutankhamun, his tomb and his treasure. That's the exhibition currently on at the Silver Star Casino out in Melders Drift in Johannesburg. Now, to keep in touch with us, you have to make sure you hashtag the Art Bulletin when you tweet at Morning Live SABC. We'll bring you more arts, lifestyle and culture related news from this exhibition on the next edition of the Art Bulletin tomorrow morning. And until then, it's a goodbye from us.